Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our program preview live on Facebook. It's our great pleasure to have you joining us for today's session. My name is Sally Tan, and I'm from Student Recruitment Office at Southern University College, and I will be your host for today. So today is our sixth program preview live, and we are great to invite the Deputy Head of Department of Psychology, Miss Joycelyn Lee, and together with the lecturers, Ms. Pei Jia-yi, to share about the programs of psychology. And also the second topic will be presented by Ms. Ying Chiu Mei, who is the lecturer from our Department of Education, to share with us about the programs of early childhood education. So before we start off with our sharing today, I would like to invite you all to follow our Facebook and also Instagram, and also share this live video to your friends and your family. All right. And you may check out our social media platforms for further information and upcoming events. So if you have any questions throughout the presentations, you may just leave your comments in the chat box, and I will bring them up during the Q&A sessions at the end of the presentation. So now, without any further delay, let us invite our first speaker today, Ms. Joycelyn, and also Ms. Pei, to start sharing their content. Welcome. Hi, Ms. Joycelyn.
Hi, Sally. Hi, everyone. I'm Jocelyn from the Faculty of Education and Psychology. Today, I will talk about what is psychology. And let me introduce my colleague, Miss Pei, here.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I will be basically assisting Miss Jocelyn here, right? So welcome everybody, and come and watch our Facebook Live for today. So today our mission is basically want to introduce our program, but before we jump into talking about our program, let's talk about psychology first. So when we talk about psychology, the first thing comes into our mind would be there are some words and terms which is linked closely to psychology. For example, people might think psychology as an under-discovered area, or perhaps some people might think that, psychology is involving people who are having like some sort of mental disorders or mental illness, or some people maybe view psychology as a mysterious area of study or research. So let's hear from Ms. Jocelyn here. Can you share and help us to understand what is psychology?
Okay, so psychology actually basically is a scientific studies. Okay, scientific study of mind and also behavior, which means that everything that regarding the mental processes or the behavior of human being is either carried out throughout rigorous research, okay, through laboratory experiment, or they go through like a natural observation research. So there are a lot of research that find out what is the theoretical knowledge behind the human mind and also the mental processes and also the behavior. That's why it formed this subject as the psychology.
Okay. So how about who is suitable to study psychology? For example, is there any particular characteristics, or perhaps is there any qualities where the program is looking for the students to apply for this program?
Okay, basically, if the students, okay, are interested in understanding more about them, as psychology is the study of human being and in terms of the mental processes and behavior. That's why it kind of understanding more about human beings. So if the students would like to understand more about themselves, okay, for example, their strengths and weaknesses, their personalities, how to motivate themselves, how to deal with emotional distress, sadness, or how to keep up a motivated feelings. Okay, so if they are understanding about, they would like to know more about this, and also they would also like to understand more about the people around them. For example, maybe their friends, families, or the stranger they encountered, and they feels like they wanted to know more about them. Okay, so the same things they can also learn about what is the theoretical behind the emotions, behind the stress, behind the thinking, behind the personality. So these are one of the character, of course. Then the later on, for example, if they are also willing to care about the welfare of others, they would like to understand about people's issue, people's problem, all this, and they would like to be together with them and solve the issues together with the um, others. So this one could be one of the important characteristic for studying psychology. Next is about whether they are also quite observant and analytical, which means do they able to observe what is happening to the surroundings, what is happening to a person, when the maybe the friends or parents, okay, come back from a workplace. So do they able to observe that what is their feelings for today? Is it a calm feeling? Is it a happy feeling, or is it a distressed feelings? Okay, and also analytical, which means if they wanted to motivate they themselves, do they go to look a lot of theories, do they go to read a lot of books, or go to listen to some YouTube, okay, watch YouTube channel to learn how to apply and motivate they themselves. Okay, so the next one is whether they like to do experimental, and whether they are a good listeners, because like in order to understand the welfare of others, in order to understand the issue of others, so to be a good listener to understand the situation is also an important characteristic. Then later on, like just now we mentioned, if they understand about the issue of others, do they are able to um, work together with them, okay, in finding out the solution that is suitable for the people to solve their problems. So these are a few different characteristics for a person who are interested in studying psychology.
Okay, so basically, to sum up what Ms. Jocelyn has shared, so basically, psychology is not just involve a particular individual only. So that would be on like more onto the people oriented, right? So if there is any situations where the students might think that, oh, they have the keen, they have the passionate to help somebody else, and they think that they are observant, which they able to realize their own emotions and although also the surroundings which is happening around. So perhaps they actually have some kind of qualities or characteristics to consider to enroll for the psychology course, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Of course,
Mm,
those are the important characteristic as shown in the slide. However, also whether the students is very passionate about the subject. Okay,
mm, mm,
from the psychology theory, we understand that if the person is passionate about a certain subject, of course, then the person can strive to um, achieve a good grades in the psychology course. So this is
mm,
also very important because psychology could be, if you study degree, then if you're interested to become a practitioner, become a psychologist or a counselor psychologist, for example. Okay, so you need to go for your further educations. So the whole process require you to also be active in the field. Okay, be active in the field, be active with the newly research, and join a lot of conference, seminars, workshop in order to sharpen your skills, all this. So to be passionate about psychology in the learning process is also important.
I see. Okay, so speaking about that, because just now you mentioned about working as a future counselor, working as a future psychologist, then I realize sometimes people can be a bit confusing when it comes to this particular term. For example, like when we talk about counselors, when we talk about psychologists, or even when we talk about psychiatrists, do you mind to share with us what is the differences between these three professions?
Yes, talking about this, sometimes also I receive quite a lot of inquiry that asking about this, the differences between these three, the psychiatrists, psychologist and the counselor. Yeah. Even like sometimes I do teach like business school students on the subject of introduction to psychology. So they are also quite confusing. They are wondering what is the difference between these three. Okay. So first I will start to explain about psychiatrists. For psychiatrists, they have to undergo a medical degree first. Usually in Malaysia itself is around 5 years of medical degree, or we so-called the MBBS. Okay, so these 5 years of studying everything about to become a doctor. Okay, then later on they go to their housemanship. Okay, it's around 2 years. Then later on they will need to specialize another around 2 years. Okay, in psychiatry. So they will understand about the physical health and also medical that's suitable to a certain mental disorders. So these are generally what a psychiatrist will do. So the main differences is psychiatrists is the one who are able to prescribe medication, especially for those severe mental disorders patients. So they need to go and visit the psychiatrist. Then the second one, the psychologist. Okay, to be a psychologist, actually you require a minimum a master degree in Malaysia itself. So after the degree in psychology, so there are a few different areas to venture into the master program. For example, like organization psychology or clinical psychology or master in counseling or the psychology of child and adolescent, family. So when they getting a master degree in psychology, okay, in different specialized area, okay, either in Malaysia or overseas, then they can call themselves a psychologist, okay, psychologist, okay, with a relevant training background and internship, okay, and depends on the different area, okay, different area of psychology, different specialties, the training requirement is different. Okay, so the most closest to the psychiatrist, I can say that is like clinical psychologists. So clinical psychologists will study about the assessment and about the diagnosis of mental illnesses. They will also learn about how to do therapy, psychotherapy. Okay, the main differences is of course they are not prescribing medication for mental illnesses clients, but they do provide the psychotherapy. Okay, and actually research shows that when the mental illnesses patients recover and reduce the probability of relapse is actually a combination between a medication treatment plus together with talk therapy or psychotherapy. Okay, here. So in Malaysia itself, there is master degree in clinical psychology, and there's these associations who giving them the so-called um, so-called screening of their academic, whether it's a legitimate practitioner as a clinical psychologist in Malaysia itself. Yeah, and clinical psychologist in Malaysia is under the allied health. Okay, then the next one is the counselor. Okay, so counselor, they study about psychological theory also, um, and also they study about counseling skills. Okay, so they deal with people who have this daily distress. This including, for example, like maybe primary school students, then they go for the secondary school. Okay, then there's this transition, for example, like different teachers, different friends. So there's this different environment. So there's this transition. They might feel like a bit distressed or stressed about the situations. So these transitions. So this students can go and see the counselors, then or some people facing the marital issues or family issues or like child and adolescent behavioral issue in class, or even like stress, okay, or like career decisions making, all this, then the counselor can help, okay, in providing counseling in exploring regarding all these issue. Then the counselor also doesn't prescribe medications, and the counselor will work in the education setting, for example, like primary school setting or secondary school setting, or even like higher educations, college, university, or they can work in the hospitals or the outside center who provide services for the public also. Okay, so these are generally three the differences. And the counselors also, they either getting a degree in counseling, okay, or after the psychology degree, okay, or other degree, then they go for the master in counseling. So it require a practical and the internship training under the supervisor, okay, a licensed counselor supervisor, okay. Then with the documentation and with the accreditation program, then they only can go to apply the licensure under the Lembaga Counselor Malaysia, which is the Board of Counselor in Malaysia, and getting the license to provide counseling services. Yes.
Okay. So for in case we have like Mandarin speakers, viewers over here, so how about the three professions in Chinese for psychiatrists, for psychologists, and also for counselor?
Okay. So I will speak in Mandarin. Okay, later on I come back in English. Okay. 大多数呢，大家在问我的时候呢，就会问我关于什么是所谓的心理医生 ，OK， 心理医生，大多数都会讲，我要去见心理医生。可是，在马来西亚的这个环境下呢，其实我们没有这个职业称为心理医生，我们有精神科医生，我们有临床心理师，然后我们有心理辅导员，有这三个不同的个别的一个职业 ，OK。当我们讲精神科医师的时候呢，精神科医师呢就是一个他需要这个职业呢需要去读5年的医生的课程 ，OK， 读了5年的医生课程，然后加上2年的实习，在医院实习过后呢，他们就会专门去读关于精神科的。所以他们的分别就是精神科医师是可以给予药物的。如果这个人有很严重的精神疾病的话呢，他们呢就可以见了这个病人，然后给予适合的药物。OK， 这个就是精神科医师。然后第二种类型呢，就是称作为临床心理师。临床心理师呢，他们需要读了心理学的学士文凭过后，然后他们就去读这个临床心理的硕士文凭。然后间中呢，他们也需要去医院啊，或者是去一些心理的中心去实习，然后才能拿到一个完整的一个课程，才能学习到一个完整的课程。然后呢，他们就可以去申请有一个学会 ，OK， 临床心理的学会的一个认证。然后呢，这个临床心理师呢，他们也不给予药物的，不像精神科医师是一个医生给予药物，他们多数呢会给予这个面谈，然后或者是这个类似于辅导这样子 ，OK。所以呢，很多的文献呢，很多的这个文献都说明说，如果要一个精神病人呢，可以很好的恢复 ，OK， 然后他不反弹的话，其实是需要配合药物和去做这个心理治疗的 ，OK， 心理治疗的。然后呢，接下来呢，第三个职业呢，就是心理辅导员 ，OK。然后心理辅导员呢，就是会跟一些 大众呢，比如讲他们面对这些功课的压力啊，或者是他们不确定他们要往哪一个职业生涯发展啊，或者是他们有家庭的一些问题啊，或者是夫妻方面的问题 ，OK， 或者是小朋友呢可能在学习上啊遇到困难，或者是在学校呢有行为举止的问题的话 ，OK， 所以这些人呢就是可以去见这个辅导员的 ，OK， 心理辅导员。在马来西亚呢，我们就是有这个 Lembaga Counselor Malaysia， 他们就是会给予这个心理辅导员呢一个认证号码 ，OK， 一个认证号码是under 国家机构的 ，OK 的认证号码。然后呢，多数呢他们是可以去这个辅导学士学位先，然后去实习，实习了过后，他们可以去面试，然后拿到这个认证，或者是他们可以学其他的学士文凭，然后去读辅导的硕士文凭，然后再通过这个面试实习了过后面试，然后就拿到这个认证，所以他们就可以去见其他的这个个案啊，这样子，这个就是3个的分别。然后辅导员也是不给予药物的，然后辅导员的可能会出现在说，比如讲学校场合啊，或者是一些医院啊，或者是一些辅导中心、心理与辅导中心。然后有时候呢，这个临床心理师跟辅导员或者是精神科医师，也会在一起有碰面的机会去工作的。这个就是这3个的分别。
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Celine for sharing. 谢谢分享。然后希望大家对这3个职业有更好的了解。So hopefully after listening to Mr. Celine sharing, then hopefully all of us would have a clearer idea about the comparisons or differences between these 3 professions, especially in the psychology field. Okay, so come back to our program. Just now we talked about that earlier. Then what is the program looks like in Southern University College, especially maybe Mr. Smith can share a little bit more on the benefits of enrolling in the program.
Okay, so first of all, of course, our Bachelor of Psychology with the honors, okay, which means that this program already being fully accredited. Fully accredited means that you are able to go through the pathway of applying PT-PTN for this program. However, of course, the accepting of the PT-PTN is duly by the government itself, but you can go and apply. And the course duration is 3 years with a 120 credits hour. Okay, so during the whole 3 years, there will be 2 long semester and 1 short semester. Long semester will be a 14 weeks of studying, okay, not including your semester break and also the final examinations. Then the short semester will be a 7 week of lecturings or studying, not including your semester break and final examinations. So then it contribute to the whole 3 years. And for short semester, usually students will take around 3 subjects, okay? And for the long semester, usually students will take around 6 subjects, okay? One subject usually is 3 credit hour, but however, there are some subject is 4, but usually it's a 3 credit hour, okay? So that's the calculation of it. So, of course, when a program is getting a full accreditation, okay, under the MQA, which means we are actually following the guideline of the government in setting up this psychology course, okay? And that means we are in line with the other psychology course available in the market, just that maybe there are some subject that is not similar, however, generally is fulfilling the requirement of the MQA. Okay, so as you can see from our program itself, actually these are all the courses that we will learn. we will start with the first semester program, okay, subjects, for example, like introduction to psychology, social psychology, basic statistics, okay. Then later on, we go into a further like second years, or for example, like organization psychology, cross-cultural, okay. Then later on, during the last year, then we will have this proposal, thesis, and industrial training. Yeah. Okay, as you can see, this program is an overview of the whole psychology specializations. So it will be overview. Then later on, with the students understanding all the programs, all the subjects already, then they can choose which area are they more interested in. Then they can venture out into the specializations. So we'll understand about, for example, like introduction to psychology is an overview of the whole program. Okay, like there's a chapter about social psychology, there's chapter about education psychology. Okay, then the basic statistic, experimental psychology, research methodology, and academic writing. Okay, this one is to train the student to write critical academic paper, that also preparing them to go for their proposal project or the thesis project. Okay, so if they are interested in going to a school setting, education setting, so this theory of learning, education psychology, understanding about child and adolescent or learning disability will be helpful in terms of in the education setting. Or if they think that they are interested in an organization, a company, so organization psychology, motivation and emotions, memory and attention, all this is also important in increasing the performance of employee, and also like provide the suitable training for the organization itself. So these are a general overview of our course.
Okay.
Yes.
So regarding the undergrad project and also the industrial training, would it happen in the same semester, or would it be in the different semesters?
Okay, so basically when students usually the project, the proposal, and the thesis and the industrial training will be the last year of the program. Okay, so the proposal and the thesis is a two separated semester. Then when they are taking proposal, they will take like a few subjects together with the proposal. Okay, because it's the last year already, which means like during the year 1 and year 2, somehow or rather they will be clearing off a major subject already. Then when come to the stages of writing a proposal, okay, then perhaps they will take another 3 subject together with this proposal. Okay, so in this proposal they will be assigned a supervisor in guiding them on how to choose the appropriate topic for research, then go through the literature review, and what is the reason they choose this topic, what is the contribution, significance, and what are the instruments, okay, they choose to go through this proposal. Okay, then at the last stages of the proposal, okay, they need to also do a presentation, not only to the supervisor but also to the other lecturer in the faculty itself, okay, in defending their proposal, to see whether it's a suitable topic to carry out. Okay, then later on, if they successfully pass the proposal, then the next semester, okay, another semester, they will go for their thesis. So this including they will carry out the research as they propose, and they will collect data and analyze the data and write out a full thesis for the submission. So the thesis actually is relevant to our program name. Okay, as you can see earlier on, our program is Bachelor of Psychology Honors. So this thesis represent the honors part, okay, which also like train the students, could be getting these skills later on. Perhaps they are interested in going for their master program or PhD program, they can use these skills. Or if later on, okay, they wanted to go for the analysis, okay, marketing analysis, for example. So they can also use this data collection skills, okay, understand about the background, and also like to report the data, to present the data that can to the stakeholder, all this. Okay. Then later on, they will only go for the industrial training.
Okay, right. So I believe most parents are very interested to find out. Let's say after their children completed and graduated from a psychology program. So what are the available career opportunities in the market which they can actually venture out? Like what type of sectors they can work with?
Actually, throughout the whole program, actually we are kind of also sharpening a student's skills. For example, they need to learn new knowledge, okay, and also like more on the theory knowledge that is relevant to a human mental processes, human thinking, human mind, and behavior. Okay, then they will have to like do research paper, academic writing, so they have to collect like informations in order to write a good paper, a good critical paper. Then later on they need to present, okay, so that's the presentation skill or the persuasive skill to pursue to pursue the lecturer in accepting, okay, their proposal. Okay, then later on they also, as like the final year, they need to go for the industrial training. So that's the way, that's the time, okay, that's the time that they can apply what they learn in the industrial training. So under this industrial training, there will be around 16 weeks of industrial training, okay, which quite of equivalent to around 4 months. So they can choose area, for example, like education settings, or they can choose like HR setting or PR setting or NGOs related to the social welfare. Then they can try to apply the skills there and to see whether they are really interested in that field and continue to work in that field. Okay. However, okay, after they graduated, they can continue, of course, in the industrial side if they are perform quite good and they like the organization culture, all that, okay, or and they think things that they learn a lot from the place itself, so they can continue their career. However, if they feel that they want to try something else, so these are the few different area they can go to, okay, as shown here, like case manager, human resources researcher, rehabilitations assistants, sales representative, public relations, social worker, and industrial organizations. The most important thing is the psychology actually is a people-oriented uh, program, okay, which means when the students learn more about how a person think, how a person behave, okay, and what is their personality, which means then they can better deal with them, better having interaction with them. Okay, if they are really interested in a people oriented job, so no matter like human resources, HR assistant, perhaps then they need to go through the recruitment process to finding the right suitable candidate in fitting the positions. Okay, so they need to go through the interview stage and understanding about so this position require a personality with a more introvert or personality with a more extrovert, okay, or a team player or a person who can work independently. So then they can help the human resource to find the suitable candidate in matching the job. So this one they are using their industrial organizations, okay, or even they can provide like training programs to uplift the motivations or to manage the emotion of a when facing like crisis or facing like work stress. Okay, so this one is more like HR, okay, or like public relation and sales representative. they are either, okay, for sales representative, of course, they are selling a product, okay, no matter what is the product is, so they are selling the product, okay, so they need to persuade the person in buying the product, okay, so they need to have a good negotiation and communication skills and understanding where their customer come from, and taking a different perspective in understanding what the customer want and selling the right product, okay, so still is a people oriented and understanding about the product. Then the public relations, of course, is like to build good images either for famous people or organization images, okay, so how to convey images, what are the languages to use, okay, if they are in a press conference, for example, what are the right words to use to create a good image for the people, okay, so this one is also related to the people oriented. Then the next one, if they are having a heart for like the welfare of peoples, then they can go for the social worker or the case manager, okay, in taking care of the issues of the peoples, and maybe like go for house visitation, and also to link these people with the community resources out there. So these are generally what a psychology degree can do. Okay, psychology degree, we can think in a way that is a general degree, just that they are more understanding about people mental processes and also behavior. Okay, that's why they can do good. Okay, or they are, if they are interested, okay, they can be a very good people oriented dealing with people interactions. However, if they feels that they are not really people oriented, maybe they can venture out into the research area, okay, research area to carry out research to update the latest trend in psychology, to update about the knowledge here. So these are the career opportunities lah.
I see. Okay, so seems like there are a lot of career opportunities that is available in the market currently. Okay, so for students who are interested to apply for our program, so what would be the entry requirements for the
Okay,
program? Mm.
so basically, students will tend to ask, okay, if I am upstream, okay, I from a art stream, okay, for example, like I'm studying accounting, okay, I'm studying the art, okay, can I go to the psychology field? Okay, actually it's a yes, if you having, okay, mathematics and science, okay, if you having a mathematics and science, and you got a pass in your English and SBM. So in order to get the SBM certificate, of course you need to also pass your BM and sejarah lah, okay, then later after your SBM, then you choose the foundation, okay, you can go to the foundations, or maybe you will go to the STPM, or maybe you will go to the UEC. So these are the different pathway according to which school you are coming from. So at the pre-university level, including the STPM, UEC, foundations, or even like diploma, so here you need to have a subject, okay, you need to have subject mathematics and science, and you need to get a C in the subject. Okay, this is just a general mathematics and science. It's not like a deep biology, chemistry is not, okay, it's not, or MX, no, okay, it's just a general mathematics and science, okay, you get a credit and you get a pass in English in SPM, okay, then you can come to the Bachelor of Psychology. What if you are really interested in psychology, okay, however you doesn't really get a good grade in your SPM, okay, for your mathematics and science, okay, then later on maybe you can try diploma first, okay, and you try to enroll the mathematics and science in your diploma subject, then later on you can do a credit transfer into the bachelor. Yes, this is the entry requirement.
Okay, right. So I know that right now we're still in EMCO, so the schools, the colleges, and the universities are not fully open yet. But I believe we are interested to find out about the facilities that are available for the psychology students in Southern University College. So do you mind to share a little bit on the facilities that the students can utilize during their study?
Okay, so when you are if you are a person who like always how to say like the pages of the Southern University College, so somehow or rather you will see somehow quite beautiful campus with a lot of greeneries. Okay, so other than the greeneries environment we have, and there is like this field, football field. Okay, and also like a place for you to a space for you to jog around, and also like there's this tennis court. Okay, so these are the facilities in the campus itself. Okay, for psychology program, actually we have a psychology and counseling lab. Okay, it is situated in the International Education Building on the 4th floor. Okay, so for the Faculty of Education and Psychology is on the 3rd floor in the International Education Building, but the lab is on the 4th floor. So the whole lab, actually, first of all, we have a individual counseling room. Okay, so we have individual counseling room 1, and also in individual counseling room 2. Okay, that can student can role play inside. Okay, or do some psychology related tasks inside. Okay, then there is this playroom. Okay, to understand. Okay, we can use this for the psychology of a child and adolescent to do like observation, to understanding about their emotions. Okay, or their behavior, social interaction behavior. Okay, so there's also like toys inside, and it is a one-way mirror, as you can see from these two pictures. Okay, so this is a one area, then the other area is an observation room with a one-way mirror, which means only people situated in the observation room will be able to see what is happening, okay, inside the playroom. Okay, so then the students or the lecturer, they can stand here and to see how the students is interacting with the people, okay, or the children's inside the playroom. Then later on, okay, this is an overview. Just now we see that it's like individual counseling room, so it is situated in the left and right of the corridor. Okay, then the outside here we have a waiting area. So basically this whole psychology and counseling lab, the 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 furnish is looks like a counseling center that is available outside. Okay, in the market itself. There's also like outside area who waiting area, and like fill up the form area. Then later on they coming in into this waiting area into the counseling room itself. Okay, and there's a group counseling room which we didn't take a photo of it, but there's also a group counseling room, and there's also 2 psychological and testing room. Okay, with the computer and the test of the psychology. Okay, so they will understand more about the test in the psychological testing and measurement. Okay, so this psychology and counseling lab, not just for the students to go for like some assignment tasks or this, but also actually it is under the Center for Psychological and Counseling Service, which is open to the public. Okay, during after work hour. Okay, during 5:30 onwards. Okay, so there's the practitioners are receiving cases in the counseling service. Okay, in this center. Yeah, so these are the facilities lah.
Okay. So just now you mentioned about there's a group counseling room, right? So basically, what kind of activities that can be conducted, which needs to utilize the group counseling room?
Okay, so for example, like sometimes they study about like industrial organization or motivation and emotion. Okay, so it is subjects that can lead the students to see to trying to come up with like activities. Okay, a seminar, a workshop. Okay, to encourage to encourage and motivate. For example, like maybe there's like 10 students, so one student will become the lead. Okay, and maybe there's another person become the co-lead. Okay, in conducting the workshop for another 8 students. Okay, in running, for example, like what is their motivation rating, then how to improve the rating, and what are the activities can make them to improve. So which means that this program is not just like you read the books and go for the lecture. Okay, sometimes you also have this kind of group discussions, or even like implement some creative workshop. Okay, in bringing the student the learning process more lively. Okay, which is also like can be applied the skills into the later on the career path. Okay, when they wanted to become a person that working in the industrial, okay, or in the company itself, maybe they also need to run training development workshop. So with that kind of experiences, they can also bring this into the company itself. Okay, so it is a space for their group conduction of activities. Sometimes when there is no pandemic, okay, we will also do something like mental health day program. Then we invite the other students that come to do some fun activities in uplifting the well-being. So this is also a space to be utilized lah.
Mhm. Okay. So I see. It seems like there's still the facilities available for students to use instead of just focusing on their studies, then just hang around with those textbooks. So basically, they can apply the knowledge that they have learned and utilize this space to carry out the activities and also to plan for anything related to their future career directions as well. Okay.
Yes.
So I guess that's all from my side. I think I understand. I have a better understanding about the course generally. Thank you, Ms. Jocelyn, for sharing and also to guide us through this briefing.
Mm.
So right. So let me just pass the flow back to the MC. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Yeah, hi, teacher Sushil. Thank you so much for the sharing by you. I believe our audience has more clear about the entry requirements to enter the Bachelor of Psychology, and also they have see about the course line that shared by you just now. And I believe we are more clear about what is actually exactly the psychiatry, psychology, and counselor, because this is quite common questions by public that we used to inquiry by the public Okay. So, dear audience, you may leave your questions in the chat box now, and we will, our Miss Jocelyn will answer accordingly. Okay, don't be shy. Okay, so while waiting for the question, actually, Miss Jocelyn, I'm quite curious about because just now I see you have mentioned other than like clinical psychologists, counselors, after they complete psychology, right? They can pursue other areas like human resource, executive, and many others. Can you share with us about our alumni, what are the jobs that they are doing now? Can you share
Yeah,
with us? Mm.
yes. Actually, we have students really go into a human resource sectors. So during the internship itself, okay, the students did help in the recruitment area. Okay, did help on the assessment of to understand the stress level of the employee, and to like carry out stress management workshop. And also for this batch, the new batch, okay, they are also students who go into the recruitment area. Okay, so the company basically is just doing the recruitment, okay, helping those company to find out the right candidates. Okay, they are also students who become a personal assistants of headmasters. Okay, because as I mentioned just now, they are also quite good in people oriented, and also they learn a lot of academic writing skill. So this both skill actually helps them in dealing with a lot of work related tasks lah. That's why there's also students doing this kind of tasks. There's also students venture into like special needs educations area, okay, dealing with like autistic spectrum disorder or like ADHD students, okay. So this one they also learn from, like, for example, like learning disability education psychology subject that in the syllabus. Of course there are also students work with normal education setting, okay, for example like kindergarten. So these are a few different area that the alumni are working in lah.
Oh, I see. So they are actually involved in many sector industry. All right.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Jocelyn. Yeah, we have a question from Facebook. The student asked, I am a SPM holder and I see that there are diploma in psychology for me to choose. Would you suggest me to go for diploma first before entering into the degree in psychology?
You are SPM holder, okay?
Yes.
So first of all, you have to see whether you already, okay. First of all, you have to see whether you already fulfill the requirement, okay. For example, do you get a pass in your English in the SPM? Okay. If you think that you have a pass, okay, and you feels that you wanted a shortened time, okay, then you can choose like to go for the actually the differences between a diploma and whether you're going to a degree in psychology is, of course, like after SPM, if you fulfill all the requirement, you go for the diploma in psychology, okay, then you already start learning about psychology. So however, diploma, if I'm not mistaken, is around 2 and a half, okay. Then with a diploma in psychology, basically is a general diploma like every other diploma. Okay, you you are, how to say, you are closer to become a psychologist when you starting to continue your degree in psychology and the master in psychology. Okay, so that's the pathway you need to go if you are really interested in become a psychologist. Okay. So then the main concern you have to consider is where is your location? Okay, where is your location? And throughout your location, okay, on the university setting and the college setting, okay, do the area have a diploma in psychology? So you're interested in psychology, but your area doesn't have a diploma in psychology. So the best way you can go is go into the foundations. Okay, then you go for your degree in psychology. Okay. Um, for your information, in Southern UC there is no diploma in psychology. Okay, there is degree in psychology. Okay, and also if you wanting to do a transfer of the program, for example, you study a diploma in psychology in other university, and later on you feel that you want to transfer into the degree in psychology in the different university. So this one it might affect your transferring of credit, because when we are doing transferring of credit, we have to see whether the syllabus itself is around 80% of similarity or not. If the diploma and the degree syllabus is similarity, okay, then only we can do a transfer. Okay, then only you will cut down your later on the study duration for your degree in psychology. So I did receive a few cases, okay, from other university getting a diploma in psychology. So the credit of the transfer is around 6 to 8 subject, okay, each subject around 3 credit hour. So which means just now we mentioned the degree in psychology is 120. So minus, okay, minus 24 credit hour. So actually you still require around 2.5 years to finish off the degree in psychology. So the main issue is on the transferring part. Sometimes it will not convenience that it will maybe will drag off your learning durations. So if you think that you don't want that, so you can go for 1 year foundation, then continue with the degree in psychology. It depends on your choices lah. This is what I can give you lah.
All right. We hope that we have answered your questions. So in summary, if you want to complete a degree in the shortest time, we will suggest you to take foundation, which is 1 year, and then you continue for 3 years degree, which will be the shortest time to take. Okay. So, Ms. Jocelyn, we have another question over here. Are there any physical or psychological restrictions for studying in the psychology or counseling program?
Physical or psychological restriction?
Yes, restriction.
Physical, you mean like disabilities? So
something like that.
if physical disabilities, we don't have this type of restrictions. For psychological issue, there's also, how to say, no matter what are the degree that you go into, okay, you need to have a, how to say, clarification on your mental health status lah. Okay, there's a application form. In the application form, you have to clarify your mental health status. Okay, this mental health status clarification is not like a screening for you to whether you can go in the program or not. Okay, the screening, if you declare, is for us to know your situations, and so that the faculty itself and the student counselor in the university can provide suitable support for your case. Okay, it's not like we screen through you or we know that you have this mental disorder, that's why we are not taking you in. It's not like that. Okay, it's not like that. It's for the clarification, then later on the faculty and the student counselor can provide support throughout your whole academic study lah, like that. Okay, so far there is no such a restriction here. Yeah.
All right, understand. Okay, so they need to do the clarifications during their application. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Have any other questions or not? Okay. I think Ms. Jocelyn, you have presented very well because there is no questions over here. Okay.
Okay.
So it's okay. If, let's say, audience, you have any other inquiry, you can just reach us. Our student recruitment office hotline 0755434666, or you can just visit our website for more information. So I think that's all for today's section for psychology's part. And thank you very much for the sharing by Ms. Jocelyn Lee and the assistance by Ms. Pe Jia. Thank you very much. And we will play a short video before we continue for our next session, which is the introduction to early childhood education. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye. See you.
Okay, welcome back to our webinar. So now let's welcome our second speaker, who is Miss Ding Chu Mei. She's going to present about the introduction to early childhood education. So let's welcome Miss Ding.
Okay, hi, Miss Sally. Can you see
Hi,
me?
Miss Ding. Yes, I can see you. Hello.
Hi. How about my slides? Are you able to
You
see
may
it?
share your slide now. Okay. Yeah, I can see your slide.
Okay.
Okay, I'll pass the time to you.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Miss Sally. So, hello everyone. This is Miss Ting here from the Faculty of Education and Psychology of Southern University College. So, for this session, I'll be doing the introduction to the early childhood education. Okay, so first question, what is early childhood education? Is early childhood education just playing with children, just preparing milk bottle, or just being a babysitter? I think this is one of the questions that most of the people are thinking about. But actually, early childhood education itself, it is an educational program that supports the learning and development of young children. So it aims to help to build up the foundation for learning and development of young children. And thus, it does not only consist of playing with children or being a nanny or babysitter, but also teaching children. Means an early child educator will need to have skills in terms of teaching also. So what do early child educators need to have? First, teaching skills, because they will need to teach children. That is why in early child center, you will see all those practice that the teachers do with the children, and also some of the lessons and activities. Of course, early child educators will also need to have playing skills, because they are the one who spend most of the daytime with children. They'll need to be able to play with children, to negotiate and involve with the children. And of course, early child educators need to have knowledge of various subjects, as it is required in teaching. In terms of subjects, it will include language, mathematics, science, social studies, and even physical activity, physical education. And of course, educators will need to have knowledge about children's growth and development also, because they'll need to know at what age, what kind of support that children will need, what kind of growth that they will be involved in. Then the educators are able to provide the appropriate support to able to help the children throughout their learning and development. And of course, childcare techniques are also required. Say, for example, educators need to know how to prepare milk bottle. They will need to know how to do nappy change and how to bath young children, because there are some settings, centers such as the TASCA, they'll be taking children who are very young. And the teachers will need to help them in terms of childcare, in terms of self-help skills. And of course, the teachers will need to have critical thinking skills, because they'll need to know how to plan activities for children. They'll need to know how to deal with parents, and of course, making decisions for children at certain critical situations. And of course, more and more. And that is why early childhood education courses are offered. So why do we need to study early child education course? First, to provide students an opportunity to develop and learn all the skills that an early child educator needs to possess. So in our course, when you're studying in an early child education course, you will be introduced with different subjects in which it aims to let the students to know and develop skills that is qualified, that makes them a qualified early child educator. And secondly, it provides the students an overview of the tasks that early child educators are expected to fulfill. Because when you are taking the course, you will actually enter the subjects in which the teacher will give you tasks, give you assignment to let you know about what an early child educator is responsible for. And of course, last but not least, because of the government policy. So from 2017, it became a compulsory for those who wants to be an early child educator to have at least a diploma qualification for the early childhood education course in order to be an educator. And that is why you will need to study the course if you would like to be an early child educator. So what are the courses offered in Southern University College? We offer two courses here. One is Diploma in Early Child Education, and another one is Bachelor of Early Child Education with Honors. So we will go into detail next. First, Diploma in Early Child Education. So this is a fully accredited course here, and the course will take up 2 years and 3 months, which includes the practical job training, which is the practicum. So this program provides graduates with a solid foundation upon which to enter employment and equips them with the necessary skills to meet the challenges of today's multicultural world. So in this diploma course, what the students will mostly learn is they will learn all the skills required by early child educators. So the subjects that they will encounter or they will be involved in learning, say for example, child growth and development, in which they will learn about different stages, different age, what will children learn, how will children grow. And then also about theory and practice in early child education. What kind of theory has been found out, has been done in terms of research that helps children in their learning and development? And how can we utilize the theory into our practice when we are teaching with children or when we are dealing with the children? And of course, curriculum in early child education of Malaysia, because we are in the Malaysia. So when we are dealing with children, it's all based in Malaysia. So we need to be familiar with the curriculum in Malaysia also. And this will be learned within the course. And of course, administration of early child program, in which they will need to know how to carry out administration tasks aside from the teaching. And of course, many more subjects such as language and literacy, regarding social studies also, mathematics and science for young children. And of course, we also offer elective subjects which aim to enhance and increase additional knowledge and skills for students. Examples of elective subjects that we have, Children in the Changing World, which is talking about in this changing of the world, in the changing of the situation and scenario, how can the children develop? How can we support them? And also regarding multilingualism and multiculturalism, about issues in early child education, and also behavioral and emotional challenges in early child education. So next, let's look into the entry requirement. So in order to be eligible to study in the course of Diploma in Early Child Education, it is compulsory for the candidates, for the new candidates, to pass the SPM in terms of Bahasa Malaysia and Sejarah. And of course, we have requirements in terms of 3 credits, means having a C and above for at least 3 subjects for SPM or O-level, or some of our students, the candidates that might be applying using the result from Unified Examination Certificate, which is the UEC, it will be required to have at least a grade B in 3 subjects in order to study in the course here. So of course, besides knowing about the course, besides the content of the course and how to enter, we will need to know about the career opportunities. So in terms of career opportunities, by the end of the whole course, when you graduate, the graduates are eligible to be an early child educators because they have developed skills, they have developed experience throughout their studies and including the practical. They can be kindergarten teachers, art teachers, and even infant nurseries. So this is for Diploma in Early Child Education. So besides diploma, we do offer Bachelor of Early Child Education with honors here. So this is also a fully accredited course, and this course duration will take up to 3 years, including practical job training, which is the practical. So this is a cross-disciplinary program aimed at providing graduates with skills, knowledge, and attitudes that are essential for a successful, effective, and committed early childcare practitioner and early childhood educator. So in this course, the subjects that is compulsory for our students to take, early childhood development and growth. Same thing, I'll be teaching about children's growth and development at different stage, about philosophies and policies in early child education, about play in early child education, because nowadays a lot of early child education practice are emphasizing on play-based, how to let children to enjoy while learning. So play is very important. And also about observation and assessment in early child education, means observing, analyzing about the children's development, about what skills they have learned, how far they have developed in terms of skills and knowledge and understanding. And also, students of Bachelor of Early Child Education will also be involved in undergraduate project 1 and 2, in which they will need to conduct research. So this undergraduate project is apart from practical. So it means they will have, in terms of research, in terms of real experience, real working experience, and of course, other subjects. Say, for example, creative arts, in terms of visual arts, they will also learn about music, movement, and drama. Okay, and in terms of elective, the students will also learn something else, which is helping them in terms of their professionalism, in terms of their skill, broadening their skills and knowledge. Say, for example, the elective subjects that we do have, family and parenting counseling. This is because we do know that besides children, an early child educator will spend a lot of time dealing with parents, dealing with the families of the children. So when studying in this elective subject, at least it is giving extra knowledge, extra skills that helps you in terms of the working in the future. And also health psychology. So next, regarding entry requirements, same thing. It's compulsory to have a pass for Bahasa Malaysia and Sejarah for SPM. And if, say, for example, in order to enter Bachelor, you can use the STPM result or the A level, and the requirement for it is with at least 2 principal passes, means at least pass in 2 subjects. And if you are using the Unified Examination Certificate, which is the UEC, at least grade B in 5 subjects. If you are using foundation or diploma, you will need to pass your course with a minimum CGPA of 2.0. In terms of the diploma here, it's referring to any diploma will do. However, the diploma that you use to apply for bachelor degree will actually affect the credit transfer. So by the end of the whole course or the whole program, in terms of career opportunities, so for our graduates, they are able to become early child educators or child development consultant, or even early childhood education curriculum developer, in which they help centers to develop their own curriculum, the way of teaching, and even involving in terms of materials, or even arrangement of the center setting, because one of the subject offered in this bachelor degree is regarding about environment setting, and also researcher, since they are involved in research during the undergraduate project, and also early child entrepreneurs, in which they are able to operate their own centers. So, like mentioned, in order to enter into bachelor degree, you can actually use your diploma. So we have students that actually use their diploma subjects, or they have taken diploma in early childhood education and they use it to apply to enter Bachelor of Early Child Education. So if, say, for example, you are using your diploma subjects or diploma course to come in, credit transfer is available for certain subjects with terms and conditions. It depends whether the subjects are equivalent or not. And of course, when there is a credit transfer, it will affect the duration of study because some of the subjects will be exempted off. So the duration of study will be reduced, of course, depending on the amount of subjects being credit transferred. However, of course, there are certain subjects which cannot be transferred with the credit. Say, for example, practical. So the practical job training for Bachelor of Early Child Education still needs to be done, means it is not exempted. So say, for example, you have carried out practicum in your diploma, and then you enter into bachelor degree. So when you come into bachelor degree, you still need to conduct your practicum because the requirements are different already. So next, I would like to introduce about the facilities we have. So we have actually 2 simulation rooms. One is for the TASCA setting and one is for the TADICA setting. So TASCA simulation room aims to design for the environment for children from the age range of 0 to 4, whereas TADICA will be for those who are 4 and above, means 5 to 6 years old. So first we will go into the TASCA simulation room. So as you can see in the slide here, we have the pictures. So on the left hand side, it is one of the area in the TASCA simulation room, in which you can see at the side, there are mats around. So the mats that you can see with the long giraffe mat, that one is the calming corner, in which we aim to let children to have a comfortable place that they can calm down. And also we will put out some materials so that the students, as they look at the place, they would know. If, say, for example, we would like to arrange a place for children, how we can arrange it and what kind of things that we need to take note in terms of environment. And you can see that calming corner on the picture on the right hand side. And also we have areas such as putting the cutleries and milk bottles. This is because preparing milk bottle childcare technique is one of the skills that we will be learning throughout the courses. And we have the milk preparation area and also the tools and equipments required to prepare food for young children, such as the milk, the puree. And of course, we have other equipment such as the baby cot, in which the students will learn about how you can prepare the bed for young children, taking care about the safety when they are sleeping. And also we have the nappy change table, in which students will practice how do you change nappy, means changing pampers for young children. And of course we have corners in which we will need to teach the students how to bath young children and how to do toilet practicing for young children. And we also have shelf in which we include Montessori materials. So Montessori materials are available so that the students can practice how to utilize them when teaching young children. Next, I'd like to introduce the Tadika simulation room. So you can see in this slide, our Tadika simulation room is slightly bigger because it contains several areas, and all the materials available are aimed for Tadika children. So first, we have the area in terms of language area, where books are available, and also the pretend play or dramatic play corner, in which different tools and different materials are placed so that the students can actually explore what are the materials available which can stimulate children's learning through dramatic play, through role play, or through book reading. And also we have areas such as the manipulative area, in which there are blocks available. So the students have the opportunities in exploring how to use the blocks in teaching, what kind of activities that children will be able to involve in when using all the materials. And also we have the science and maths corner, in which materials related to maths, such as the cylinder, or such as the measuring cup, and even some of those weighing scale, and also science, those related to astronomy, related to animal, or related to some of those stethoscope about health will also be placed in this science and maths area. And we also have the music corner, in which we offer several musical instruments that students can explore, and they can also use during the teaching and also during their practice of teaching. And we also have a keyboard, in which students will be introduced to how to play some of those nursery rhymes that is common among young children. And we also have the art area, in which art materials are provided, so students can explore the different art materials that are available for young children. And of course, we also have the kitchen corner, in which kitchen appliances and equipment and tools are offered, because this corner will be used when we would like to teach students about the food and nutrition that the children will require. So students will actually explore what kind of menu they can come up with in terms of morning tea break, afternoon tea break, and even lunch for young children. And they can explore all the cooking techniques, explore about nutrition and the balance of diet using the area here. So that's the end of my presentation. So any questions?
Okay. Thank you for the sharing, Miss Ting.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I thought you. Right. Okay. Thank you for sharing with us about the facilities that we have in our Southern UC. and also the course line, the requirements. So dear audience, you may just leave your inquiry in the chat box here. Then our meeting will answer you about the questions accordingly. Okay, so while waiting for the question meeting, actually
Yes.
I have a question over here. Okay, can you share with us about the differences that students that will study during the diploma in early childhood education and the degree? What's the differences?
Okay, when they are entering the diploma, in terms of diploma, more emphasis will be on skills, practical skills. And of course, students will need to have understanding, they will need to have knowledge in order to know how to apply the skills. But more emphasis will be on application. Whereas in terms of degree, not only they'll need to know about skills, not only they have expectation on knowledge and understanding, but also such as other things such as analysis, such as making decision for young children. And they will also emphasize on the research part in which they will be carrying out their undergraduate project also. So in terms of degree, they will emphasize in skills and deeper knowledge, understanding in terms of theory and practice.
Oh, all right. So that's the differences lah. Diploma will be more on the skills, and degree will be more in like management, that kind of way.
Diploma will also learn about administration, but it's more on like skill based. But diploma,
Okay.
not only just skill, not only just knowledge, they will even require, say, for example, making decision, analyzing something that is deeper. They will go in terms of deeper things.
But if students, after they completed the diploma, if they want to open up a center, they can, right? Or they need at least bachelor degree.
They will need to refer to the requirement in terms of opening the centers. They will learn it under the administration.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, meeting here. We have inquiry from Facebook. Students could get the job recommendations from Southern University College in Singapore after they graduate.
Okay, regarding working in Singapore, because when you are studying in the course in Southern University College or any of the university in Malaysia, what we learn is the curriculum in Malaysia, because that is what is relevant to us here. So if you want to work in Singapore, you will need to check to fulfill their requirement in Singapore also. Say, for example, in order to work in Singapore, of course, they have requirement in terms of English. Say, for example, IELTS. You'll still need to take IELTS in order to work in Singapore. And of course, some of them, they will require in terms of the understanding of curriculum in Singapore also. So yes, in terms of Malaysia, the certs can be used, but if you really want to work as a teacher, as an early child educator in Singapore, at the same time, you have to fulfill the requirements in Singapore.
Okay, but what I have known that we have some alumni, they are actually working in Singapore as a early childhood educator. So they
Yes.
actually use the requirements in Singapore side.
Yes.
All right. I hope that Miss Ting have answered your questions. Okay. There's students here. I love children, but I am short of passion. Do you think I'm suitable to join this course, early childhood education?
Okay. Previously in August, we actually have a talk regarding this. Love children doesn't mean you're suitable to be an early child educator. Okay, yes, loving children, of course they are cute, you know. You can see cute children every day in some videos. But when you're being an early child educator, loving children is not enough. Like mentioned, you still need to have patience. You need to have knowledge. You need to have all those skills in terms of making decisions, in terms of thinking fast. And not only you are just being someone who is with them. Sometimes you have other roles such as being a lawyer. You know why? Children will have quarrel, will have conflict. You need to explain on both sides. You need to be a judge, making decision for children. And not only in terms of early child educator, you are dealing with children, you are dealing with parents also. So if, say, for example, you asked me the question, if I love children, does it mean that I am suitable to be an early child educator? My answer is uncertain. It depends on your other attributes that make you whether you are suitable to be an early child educator or not.
All right. Okay. So, okay. We have another question over here, missing. What is the differences between Tasca and Tadika?
Okay, the difference is between the age range. Tadika refers to children who are 5 to 6 years old, those that are slightly older, and that have a fixed curriculum which is called the KSPK Semakan that is used. Whereas Tasca is more towards young children, age range 0 to 4 years old.
All right. I hope that meeting have answer your question, Kishan. Okay, here we have another question also. I believe the meeting has mentioned just now. Maybe we can highlight again. What kind of characteristic is suitable to study early childhood education?
In terms of studying, I wouldn't say any fixed characteristics, but you will actually need certain skills, develop certain skills. And okay, we take an example. I wouldn't say studying in the course. I would say as an early child educator. First, of course, loving the children. That's one of the things. Next, you need to have patience. You need to have the patience for children, patience for parents and families, because you will encounter different children. None of the children are the same, even between twins also. And of course, you need to have your own responsibility. You need to be able to be responsible not only for yourself, not only for children, for the parents, for the families, for the colleagues. And of course, in terms of being continuously developing yourself, and of course, thinking. Because like mentioned, there are times in which the teacher will need to react towards a certain issues, making decision immediately. So they'll need to think, okay, currently I'm under this kind of situation, I'm in this scenario. What kind of decision I need to make? Why do I make this decision? So you will need to have that response towards it. Of course, maybe some of our candidates might be thinking, that's difficult. That is why we have the course offered here. The course gives you that duration, give you the time in terms of helping you to develop all the skills.
All right. Okay, so we hope that we answer your questions. Mr. Wong. All right. Oh yeah, this question is very interesting. Okay. Does gender affect me from choosing this course? I believe that this must be a man or boy. Is men suitable to study this course?
Same question, same answer. It looks on your own attributes. Gender doesn't matter really. Sometimes there are male who might be more detailed than female. It depends. We wouldn't take the whole gender. There is no gender bias here.
All right. But is it very hard for a guy to get a job? I mean, in this industry as a early childhood educator.
We have alumni who actually work in the early childhood education field as a male. They still get a job there.
Wow! So there is no restriction or what?
And we currently still have students who are also male.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Here we have audience asking about, is the program including special care content? Perhaps she is referring the special needs.
Okay. In both diploma and degree, you will actually have a subject related to children with special needs. Means the lecturers will actually introduce you with different special needs and about how you can support them and deal with them. Yes, there is such a subject. But if in terms of specializing in it, you will need to go in terms of further studies.
Okay. Is it the courses offering in Malaysia here? Like specialized in these special needs children?
I think there should be courses in terms of other places, but currently in our university, we offer it as a subject, means at least you have some foundation knowledge or a skills that is related to it.
Okay. There's an inquiry also asking about, will us teaching how to deal with ADHD students?
You will learn that under the subject of children with special needs.
Oh, in the subject.
We have a subject for special needs only, focusing fully on special needs. Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, I think we have covered almost all of the question over here. Let me see if there any I have missed out. I think we have covered almost all. Okay. Thank you, Miss Ting, for answering these questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So before we end this section, we will show you guys a short video about the facilities available in our Southern University College. All right. Please show the video.
The room for our Tadika setting. Okay, so the first corner that we have here is the music corner. And at the music corner, we have several materials. And then we have a piano keyboard here. So the piano keyboard is available as an extra resources for students to learn about how they can play music for children. And besides the music corner, we have the art and craft corner here. And the artwork of the students will be placed here. So in front of the two corners, we have a table also. So the table, we have a place for students to demonstrate their work and also a sewing frame. And the next corner we have is the language and literacy corner right here. So at the language and literacy corner, we have many types of books, many types of selection, which includes the Malay language and the English language, and some materials that can be used for language learning. And in front here, we also have a table in which we can place the resources or teaching material that the students have created related to language. Say, for example, the one we had here is using the puppet, and it can be helping in terms of storytelling and also story making. So next, we have the pre-time play corner, in which we have the kitchen stove-top cabinet that the students will learn how to utilize this kind of resources to stimulate children's creativity during pre-time play. And we have other materials. Right next to the pre-time play corner, we have the physical play corner, in which we place the resources here. So next, we come towards the manipulative play corner. Right next to the manipulative play corner, we had this maths corner. And next, we come towards the science corner here. So in front of the maths and science corner, we also have an activity table in which the materials can be changed according to the theme of the week or according to the objective of the teachers. Besides that, we have a place here to hang our hula hoops also. And when we come into the middle of the whole room, you can see that we have a whole row of display table in which we display the work of the students. And besides that, we also have a corner for water and sand table. Another special features that we have in this room is we have an area for food experience. And we also prepare tables in which students can do their food experience, their preparation and cooking area, which we have separated into stations. And in each station, we have the cooking utensils, and these materials, these resources will be utilized, especially during the safety, health, and nutrition, as the students will need to know about how to set up menus, set up food for children. So that's the whole room for the Tadika setting. At the back, we have Baby Annie. So Baby Annie is used to learn about first aid and CPR. So we have the airbag in which it will be attached inside the door. And when the airbag is attached, the students can use it to which preparation of foods for TASCA children is done. And we have a sterilizer, a baby bottle warmer. We also have a drying rack for the milk bottles. The milk powder is prepared for students to learn about how to prepare milk for infants and toddlers. We also have bathing dolls, so students will utilize the dolls to learn taking bath for babies. And we also have diapers here. So besides that, we also have baby clothes. So these are provided so that the students will learn about how they can help baby in terms of changing their clothes. We also have the towels, the bathing towels, and we have the terry toweling. So next we have a diaper changing table. Besides that, we also have the potty in which students will learn about how we can let children to have toilet practicing. And bathtubs, 2 of them, with duckling inside. So students will learn how to utilize small little toys that they can engage young children in learning during bathing also. So that is all for the TASCA setting.
Okay, it was a great video over here. So once again, thank you very much, Ms. Ting, for sharing with us about the early childhood education. Thank you,
Yes,
Ms. Ting.
thank you. Thank you for listening also.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys, our sharing has come to an end. So thank you very much for staying with us and stay tuned for our upcoming activities in the near future. So for more details, please visit our official website, www.southern.edu.my, or you may follow our Facebook and Instagram. You can also call us to make an appointment with our program counselor for further inquiries. So if you are interested to join this course or any other courses in Southern University College, please register yourself before 12th of September to enjoy a special rebate. All right. So thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you on tomorrow for another section of our webinar. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Miss Ting.
Bye.